our span. Welcome to Dance Talk Dialogue. I know, some of you all are wondering, what is Dance Talk Dialogue? Well, if you love dance like I do, you'll know that Dance Talk Dialogue is nothing but dance. So I need you guys to do one thing for me. Stay tuned this season because I'm going to bring you some very, very interesting things, and we're going to go deep into the dance worlds. I'll do some background footage for you. We'll show a little competition, may even throw a little recital or two in there to see and everybody get their swerve on. But really, if you love dance like I love dance, then this is the show that you want to watch. Listen, this barely scratches the surface. Baby, stay tuned. Nothing but dance. Let's dance talk.
Let's Get Your Life Back Productions provides videography services, photography services, and much, much more. Please visit us on our website at www.letsgetyourlifeback.com or on all the social medias.
Welcome back. Let's welcome our panel of guests, and as I would like to call you guys, my panel of experts. Thank you all for coming out tonight. First, I have Miss Rashawn Funderbank. She's actually a choreographer and the owner of Choreo U. Next, I have Miss B, which is actually an author and choreographer. Then we have the celebrity ballroom dancer and owner of Level 5, Mr. Terry Haran. Thank you guys for being here with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So let's just jump right into it. So tell the audience what's your choice of dance and how long you have been dancing. Miss B.
All right, well, first, these shoes are like life. Y'all cannot tell me that y'all didn't start off with these shoes.
Right, let's get a shoe cam over here.
All right, shoe cam.
You shining, so, you know, you blinded me, so I had to catch myself. But I started dancing when I was very young. I do a mix of ballet, jazz, hip-hop, some modern, and I like to add tumbling in addition to the majorette style. And so that comes from a mix of training with Ballet Academy of Dance, mixing that with the HBCU style, going to a university like the illustrious Florida A&M University, and learning the Florida style and how they dance, and really kind of infusing all of those styles together and kind of creating a separate style of my own. So I like to mix them all together, and, you know, whatever comes up, comes out. And,
all right.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for you to do your thing. You're going to have to show me a little bit of that style a little bit later.
Okay.
All right, Miss Rashawn.
I would say that my choice or my style is more of a jazz contemporary. And so basically how I got started is just in the studio, competitive dancing, more classical training. So in ballet, tap, jazz, all that good stuff. And then later came the, dance line style. Started in high school, danced at South Carolina State University. Prior to going to South Carolina State University, I was at Morris Brown. And then I also had the opportunity to teach while in grad school at Indiana University. So came back here, and I would more consider myself as a dance educator. And just, so that's my mission in life, I feel. And so that's what I kind of just spread the love of, educating people about how to dance and what resources they need, providing those resources to dance.
Okay, and we'll actually talk about some of those resources a little later.
Okay.
Mr. Terry.
I need to go see the educator.
Absolutely, me too, next.
So I've been dancing, most people say their whole lives, right? So I started out dancing in my room with the door closed. And I've only actually been professionally trained for the past 5 years in ballroom. So that would be my choice and style of dance that I professionally trained in. Everything else, I kind of just watch and pick it up and just do it. So if you ask me, could I tumble? I'll say, yeah, I'll try it.
And figure it out.
I'll YouTube it. So that's kind of pretty much where I am right now.
Okay, so all of you guys have actually been in this dance world for a while. What do you think has changed over the years? Like, for me, it's everything. Within the last 3 years, the majorette world just have blown up. Yes. So Bring It, Bought It out, and everybody's onto the majorette thing. So we want to talk about majorette associations and dance teams, community dance versus companies. Tell me what you think about community dance, Ms. Rashawn.
Well, I think how it's changed, I would say, being introduced initially, before the Bring It, being introduced by someone that come from Mississippi, because that's where it pretty much derived. And so talking to him, you know, from Mississippi, Memphis, they already had the thing going on.
Mississippi girl.
Right. And so once I was introduced to it, just in conversation, and because we were talking about dance line, and so now that that's a real thing, like I said, this is pre-Bring It. So now that Bring It has come out, dance is magnetized like times 1,000 at this point.
Yes.
And so everybody wants to do it, but not necessarily do they go about it the right way. And not all the right people are influencing it or doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's the how it's changed. Like that's the issue right now. It's not everybody's not doing it for the kids, and they're not doing it for the love of dance. And I think a lot of times they're doing it for the money. So it's become more of a business than it has become. Let me tell my story through these kids, and let me teach these kids how to tell these stories and how to live their lives through dance. And so, but everybody dance in different ways, and I respect that. But it's just the way people are, the approach right now is what's changing the game.
I can actually agree with that. I can totally agree with that. So, Ms. B, tell me the difference in, so what they have now is major for everyone is stand battle. Like, everybody wants to do a stand battle. We have creative dance. But what we know, what I came up with, Jackson State, field show.
Yes.
I'm used to being out there on the sideline with the band, and you're on the 50-yard line, and you're making it work. That's what you're doing.
Right.
But now we have creative dance, we have hip-hop, we have jazz, we have everything that has just come together and just made it all work. So tell me, what do you think about the difference with the stand battle, the creative dance, the palm? I know you judge a lot for different competitions all over the world. So what I would like to know from you is just, what's your perspective on the different categories?
What's interesting about it is when I started my studio, Studio Inc. back in 2009, we were a traditional dance studio. And so the competitions that we competed in were the traditional style competitions. And so as the show came on, the girls were like, why we keep doing these, you know, traditional competitions? We want to battle, we want to battle. And so I had to be able to switch it, because when I hear stands, I think of 8 counts. I don't think of
32 whole.
What do you call those, cheerleading stunts and all of that kind of stuff? Because you know, when you're in the stands, you have 8 counts or 16 counts to do a routine, and you can't do all that other extra stuff. And so one of the things that we had to learn was how to transition, and it changes at every competition. You know this, each competition, the stand battle is different. They have different rules, they have different regulations, but it gets so intense, and that's the most exciting part of the competition, that people just, that's what they come for, and they come to see the battle. And it gets really exciting because you see these babies, you see how hard they work, and they buck their little lives, their little hearts out. But what I do like to see is the creativity in the stands. Not, are you just doing the same death drops? Are you just doing the same hitch kicks? No, what type of choreography is in your stand? Are you clean? All these different mechanics that are in a regular field show or creative dance category, I judge the stand battle just like that. But you got to have the beast in you for me to give you that next round type of situation. So it's got to be clean, and you got to have that monster standing out there too, because you know how it is. It gets real out there. And so that's what I look for, you know, when I judge. And so it's been a nice transition. I'm really looking forward to the team stepping up, though. You know, everybody stepping their game up.
Yes, so that's super excited. And as I've said before, you all are now my new panel of experts for a dance competition series that we're about to film, which is Bring the Heat. And so I'm super excited because we'll have 8 of the best teams in Georgia come out and compete to bring the heat. So with all that being said, Mr. Terry, I know you're used to more of the, not necessarily the competitive community world. You deal with more of the professional dancers. So if you flip the script, and now I'm pulling you into this community dance world. Tell me what the difference, like, for the last competition you judged. What was that style? What was your vibe? What did you feel there?
Wow, it was amazing to see so many different people. So I come from a world where we're just dancing in partnership, right? So it's me and another person. It's 2 people dancing at one time. So I have to correlate that into a group of 30 people. I mean, wow, you had some really large teams there for the trying out for the actual show, but so many different people trying to bring that choreography together, trying to have technique, trying to be able to come with the choreography, thinking of the different performance technique situations that they can bring to the table, the different themes, and just all of those components coming together in order to be able to produce a show. Like,
Yes.
that's amazing. You know, I can get out there with somebody right now and just dance and, you know, we can show out. But to be able to have 30 people to show out at one
Yes.
time, that's a lot.
And look like one person.
And
Yes.
look like one person. It
They say
definitely
one
has to be
voice, one
unison.
band,
Yeah,
one
one
step,
band.
one dance.
Hello.
You know?
Ah,
Yes. So,
So coming into that world, it's definitely different judging those type of competitions, but I like the challenge because, I mean, dance is dance. You still have to have technique. You still have to be able to dance. You have to be able to be creative and show your art through your body.
Yes.
So that's still the same concept there no matter what style of dancing you're in, but just the fact, like I said, once again, coming into unison with 30 people, I think that's pretty amazing.
okay. So, the next question I'm going to ask for all three of you.
All right.
If you could go back in time for your younger self, what advice would you give your younger self for dance?
How old is this younger self? Okay, is this a 12-year-old or is it 20? Oh, I ain't gonna say how old. Okay, go ahead.
You're telling your age. Okay. So, but seriously, so if you could go back in time and do it for your younger self, because you know, today you have 5 and 6-year-olds that's out there and they're trying to bring it. You know, they're trying to do them 5, 6, 7, 8. They're trying to put it all to it. And then you have some that are in high school. My daughter's 19 and she's danced since she was 4 years old. And it's different, you know. Back in the day when Tiara was dancing, it was like you were saying, we were doing stands, and she danced with the team back home in Mississippi. EPP, the Elite Prancing Pearls, I think it was, with Mr. Rondre Durr. Amazing choreographer. He's the first person that I knew of that did the creative style, and I used to think to myself, gosh, this boy is talented, because I can recall them one time doing something like The Wiz, and I was like, why are we doing this? This is dance.
Right.
But today, that's all we're doing.
Right.
And so his mind was there 9 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, and I grew up with EPP, Purple Diamonds, Dancing Dolls, all these teams, we were right along with them. And it's amazing to see where they are now. What Miss Diana Williams is doing with Bring It and the Dancing Dolls is just phenomenal for me. Like, I love it. I love everything that she's doing with the Major Red World. I wish some of us would sit down and actually see that it was a struggle. You know, she didn't wake up today and make the Dancing Dolls what they are.
Right.
And everybody, so I call them popcorn teams.
Girl.
I mean, you just put them in the oven and they pop, because she came out with
30
Bring It,
seconds.
and I promise you,
Everybody and their mama.
yesterday, I guarantee you 15 teams started. And they don't understand the time and the effort that is put into those teams. Nobody understands the background when these kids can't go to the football games, when they can't do basketball, they can't talk on the phone because you're at practice every evening. And when you're not at practice, you have to be doing your schoolwork. I'm big on schoolwork too. So this world has just changed everything, and it's amazing, and all these different dances, and I'm just so excited. And so for me, I always wanted something to do. My dad would look at ESPN every Sunday. I would dread it. I just have to sit there and watch football.
Girl.
So Shamiar said, if there's an ESPN for football, there's going to be a DanceTalk Dialogue for dance. So
Right. All day.
Dance
Here
Talk
we
is
are.
nothing but dance.
Hello.
And here we are. So we're going to move it right along, and I'm going to get a few more questions out of you before we take a short break. I would like to know, being a dancer, what's the best lesson you've learned?
I would say, even to go back to like that, it ties into like my younger self. Networking is very important.
Yes.
And the world is so small, that 3 degrees of separation is just, it's real. And that's what kids don't understand now. And so, and that's something I wish someone had told me, is while I didn't burn bridges, you know, like I probably would have, you know, but I just wish someone told me then that I I would turn around and have to meet so many people. Like currently at the school where I work, I went to elementary school with one of the ladies is my aunt. Well, is my godmama's niece that work in the office. Another one of the ladies, her mom taught me 4th grade. And then we went to school together. And so you just don't ever know. I'm walking in for an interview and I'm like, hey, and so there's a chance that I never would have gotten that interview if they saw my name and I wasn't, I was some random ratchet person as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just don't ever really know. And so walking in, I felt comfortable at that point because I know they know who I am for real. And so they can at least, when I walk out, say, yeah, I know her, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And you try to tell kids that, they don't really listen. And that's something, while I was just a really good child, I mean, in sense of around people, I was good to people and people was good to me. It's just, I would tell myself to kind of be more, pleasant. Okay. Most times, I would say that. Because sometimes you can kind of get out of hand, but you always have to remember the future. And that's what I try to feed into the kids that I teach. And that's something I wish more people poured into me, so.
Okay. Well, Mr. Terry, on the flip side of that, tell me, what do you feel we have out here in the community on more of the professional side of dance? So what are some of the types of relationships that you've built or that you run into dealing with dance?
I deal with a lot of different people. For starters, I deal with a lot of wedding couples. So I teach a lot of people their first dance. And when you talk about a wedding couple, everyone gets married. So I meet so many different types of people, different cultural backgrounds, and it becomes a learning experience, not only for them to learn dance, but for me to learn about who they are and how the world operates and different human behavior, and people have different characteristics that I have to bring together in order to be able to operate as one unit, to be able to do these types of dances. It's definitely, like I said, a learning experience for me and an eye-opener as well. So I really enjoy it.
Okay. So, Miss B, we're going to come back to you and we're going to get a little bit more deeper into this competition world.
All right.
Okay. So what I would like to know from you is the experiences that you've received with the relationships that have to been built from the competitions. I know being a judge and going around to so many different competitions, you run into some of the same teams sometimes. And some of the teams might look a little funny.
They feel some type of way.
If they didn't win and now you back at the table.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about those experiences.
Okay. Well, I will tell you an experience, but can I tell you my dance life lesson that I learned?
What's your dance life?
Because I really wanted to answer that. My dance director at FAMU used to say, the show will go on with or without your raggedy ass. And he said, raggedy ass, to make sure that if your feet aren't pointed or whatever it may be, that you were not going to hit the stage and the show was still going to go on. So no matter what you do, the show's still going to happen. Where if you're going to be a part of it or not is up to you. So I had to say that for that life lesson, because the show will go on no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
All right. So with all that being said, talking to my good friend Rashawn over here, who I judge with a lot, a few weeks ago, I was like, girl, I like to leave right before they make the announcements because I don't want nobody stopping me in the parking lot. And she was like, I stay. And I said, well, I can stay too, because if I said it, then I meant it. And honestly, if I see who's the best on the floor, regardless of if I see you today or next week, and you still look as raggedy as you did the week before, I'm going to need you to take them comment sheets, take them home, learn from them, and work on it. So it's hard to break through to some of those new popcorn teams because they think they already have it figured out. And they think that you're a popcorn judge or dancer, that you just started doing this type of thing, and that's not the case. And so you have to get out there and, you have to stick by your guns. You judge, you have to stick by those scores. And honestly, when you want to really grow your team and to do better, this is with football, basketball, you always watch film. You always go back the day after or whenever, and you look back at what you did and what you didn't do, and you try to fix it. So they can come find me in the parking lot. I ain't gonna say what I keep in the car, but but they can come find me in the parking lot, because 9 out of 10, when they come to me with their sheets, it's still gonna be honest. So honesty is the best thing. The numbers don't lie. And that's all that, you know, you can say about it. So networking or not, when you get around to all of these different places, as long as you know, keep it 100, people can't do nothing but respect it. And that's it.
What I like with what we're doing is the one thing that I think the majorette world needs is the association to basically negate what should be done, and that's what's not there. So anyone can hold a competition. You can judge it how you want to judge it. You can charge what you want to charge. You basically can do what you want to do.
Sure can.
It's a free-for-all.
Exactly. And so I'm super excited that the Majorette Association of Dance is about to start so that we can have some type of formality to what's going on. So tell me, what do you think about a new association coming up in the majorette world so that we can actually get some legitimacy to what we have doing here?
Well, I'm going to say, in that regulation, it has to be some rule about how, like, the rehearsal space, the type of floors, the type of, like, arena of places that they're subjecting the kids to. Like, I'm talking to somebody like, yeah, we, like, outside, like, you just outside on the concrete, and you do all of that? Like, you know, so it has to be in the regulation. It just has to be some type, because, I mean, my thing is, and I've always said this, once you dance, you're a lifelong dancer. And so, but you can't lifelong dance if you wearing knee braces at 6. You know what I'm saying? So if you just bang, 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 so I mean, I don't mind. Like, I'm open to all styles of dance. I love it. But I just want to make sure we're doing it right. So going back to B, say, yeah, I stay. Because I can't write you a whole book, you know, like on the sheet, on the judge sheet. But even some judge sheets don't even have a place for comments. I write on the back. Because I want to give you some feedback. But I don't mind you coming asking me to elaborate, because I will. And that's why I stay. But a lot of times they think you're trying to be funny, or like as if you've researched the teams and you just want to have some vindictive, like, you know. And so it's like, no, but I'm really trying to help you, but you don't want to accept it because you just want to be mad because you didn't win. And that's not what this is about. It's not about winning. It's just getting better. That's why you bring the kids to the competition. So the regulation, if you're going to get better and you're going to make sure the kids are well taken care of, then the rehearsal space, first of all, there needs to be some qualification for that. And I know that's a whole separate thing about how much they have to charge the kids, and the kids don't pay, and blah, 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 blah. So sometimes rehearsal spaces can be few and far in between. You know, it could be somebody's house. But that needs to be regulated in itself. But like I said, I'm all for a competition, but I know a lot of these, you know, people, they don't know about dance. And a lot of times people will start teams because they care about kids. And so they started as a mentor program. But just bring in the right people to come help the kids. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't try to just teach them just a little something that you learned one time from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, but get them trained right. And so I'm all for about developing the kids, but let's just do it right. So I think that regulation with an association would be very helpful to just kind of give people a guide, even going back to B's book, you know, just giving them a guide.
And so, Mr. Terry, I see we have you sitting here. You're in the team.
And it's a majorette world.
And it's going back and forth about majorette, and I know that's not necessarily your world. So it was actually absolutely phenomenal, you guys sitting down talking with us. And again, my panel of experts. So, and again, having you today was great. I'm so grateful and thankful that I'll have you soon to be filming for the dance series. So everybody needs to get ready for that. We have some wonderful teams. We'll end it with Mr. Terry. I want you to tell us a little bit more just with, to play off what they were saying, because even not in the majorette world, in ballroom or jazz or lyrical, liturgical, if we want to even speak on that, tell me about the choreographing dances in that sense. Do you find it difficult to choreograph for different teams? And I know you choreograph some things just basically for individuals. So are you running into something that needs to be sanctioned and cited for just that? Or are you dealing with not necessarily, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Because like in the majorette world, it's a free-for-all. We basically do what we want to do. So I know with your clientele that you work with, they're pretty much specific.
They're specific.
Yes.
And I think that's just kind of how society as a whole is. Like, you grow up with rules, you grow up with regulations in school, at home. You need to, you know, take out the trash or wash the dishes, or you don't get to go outside and play, or when you're at school, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then these are the consequences. And we begin to just live life through having some type of structure, and I think that would be good for the majorette world in order to be able to have that, as well as every other style of dance that's out there. So we go to ballroom competitions, everybody from Dubai, from Russia to Georgia, they know what a specific dance step is, and if they don't do it the right way, it's not right. So learning in that aspect of things and being able to actually execute a specific style of dance as a whole and as a team, so that way when we do get up and judge, we know we can say yes to this, we know we can say no to that. And just having that structure again, I think that would be really good for that world.
All right. So thank you. This was a great discussion. We'll be back shortly with more.
Child sex trafficking is a new American slavery. Did you know that there are nearly 250,000 children of color missing and no one is looking for them? In Atlanta, sex traffickers make over $32,000 a week selling a child's innocence. This is my 15-year-old daughter and my 17 and 13-year-old sons. I don't want my family or yours to be next. Learn how to keep your child safe from traffickers at ourchildrenskeeper.org.
This was all very informative. I would like to thank my panel of experts for actually being with me today. They had a lot to say. You know, that's what dancers do. So don't you miss out on next week and the week after that and the week after that, because we're really, really going to get nitty-gritty down into the world of dance. Don't forget, let's dance talk.
Wow, wow, I'm so glad I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive, I'm alive. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm so glad I'm alive.